including going up the tower and facing off the gauntlet.
So, one thing I do want to note here.
What's that, Rick?
Is I do want to. Whoa, JP just barely got through the mimics there with enough arrows to take care of that second one.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are back. For those of you that were doing the Ganon Tower Big Key guessing game, it was in number 1. It was in the True Hope room this time around with the small key in there as well. I do want to draw upon something that Dr. Mario was saying. And the fact is, you never know where your opponent is. You never know what's going to happen. If you finish off a seed and all of a sudden your opponent winds up having some late game issues, not finishing off the seed, you wind up taking away a chance for you for a come from behind. Now, it's going to take a little bit here for JP to lose this race to Shady Force, but, you know, things happen in this game.
Yes, the gauntlet, despite, you know, many runners in the past, including Shady and JP, make it look very easy, it is actually not easy. A lot of practice and execution has to go on, and of course, little things have to go right for you. But, you know, you are absolutely correct, Rick. There are certainly been many a race, actually, you know, when runners have basically been behind for, you know, multiple minutes, right? And, well, GT is certainly a thing. Ganon is a thing. Yeah. Alright, though Shady, though, looks like he is wanting to at least be a bit more thorough. He is also going to clear out Eastern Palace as well. You know, because if you leave the fire, because he knows that there's one item here left on Armos, and of course, if it's the Fire Rod, and you leave it behind, you're going to probably feel even worse. I am also curious to see if JP ends up checking any more chests for silvers. We actually did see him actually go mode Ice Palace, not even checking any of like the chests kind of along the way. I think he maybe checked one chest, which was like the vanilla Big Key chest after Icebreaker, but didn't even check like the spike chest or anything like that. We could end up potentially finding silver somewhere. You know, basically, if we see from everything that Shady has done, the bow is probably, you know, not in the overworld. It could, of course, be somewhere in the basement, but of course, it also could be somewhere here in the upper part of GT.
I'm gonna say Turtle Rock.
Oh, right. We also have Turtle Rock. Looks like that JP is going to be willing to check some of these chests, the compass, and another heart container. Well,
Well, these are convenient checks. You're not going out of your
true.
way to check something that's further in the basement, but here you're checking these, and now we have a reason for the silvers to be in the light world.
Yeah, that's right. JP is picking a shovel here in the pre-Moldrum chest. Very nicely done on Moldrum 2. So we have one more potential check that JP can make.
Yep, here in
shot over.
Just 5 rupees in the final chest, and
you know, I was gonna say I very much appreciate the 5 final rupees because look at JP's resource counters. He has 880 rupees. He has 8 bombs. He has 8 arrows. It is a very pretty 5 rupee pickup.
All the 8s.
That's right. This is luck here for JP.
Now, if only this was the 8th day of the 8th month.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not, but if only it was.
Yeah, it would be a lot warmer and nicer outside too. All right, JP.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. On Aga 2, looks like actually it would have been actually pretty good once the first cycle in order to get a triple, but unfortunately the energy balls just barely missed. Aga couldn't even nick him. Oh man.
Just about outside with that one, and Shady Force getting the Pyramid Fairy Bomb here we'll get the Fire Rod just a moment. JP, I think his nerves are starting to shine here. Gotta get himself under control. The biggest fight coming up in just a moment.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, he got kind of nicked by that own energy shot, so he couldn't even get anything in the previous cycle. But you know what, JP makes it through the Aga 2 fight. He just needs to have one more good, healthy Ganon survival, and then we can claim a winner here in this game too.
Our tracker, Professor Pixie, is noting that there is another reason for the silver arrows to be in the light world. And I'm just going to say this. We don't speak about that location. Shady Force at this time pulling off a bomb dupe that he didn't really need to pull off. I think Shady knows where this race has gone.
But, you know, as you said earlier, Rick, but you are just watching your screen. You are just playing to the game's music. You have nothing else to help you. You don't know where your opponents are, right? And if, you know, for all you know, your opponent could also have been last locationing this as well.
All right, Shady in the go mode, and now we'll head on over to Skullwoods to finish things off as JP gets ready to go into stage 3 of this Ganon fight. We do want to remind you that coming up at 3:10 is the third game of the series, featuring Zelga Disan and In the Name of DT, two awesome runners doing battle in cross keys. And as long as this result doesn't change, it's going to be an even series with the winner taking a 2-1 series lead.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and it actually certainly...
Turtle Rock is the answer.
All right, well, we're going to go back there after Fire Rod Go mode, especially for a pendant dungeon, all the way to Turtle Rock. But yeah, so the fact that, you know, if JP continues and finishes the series, at least this game up, we are going to have a guaranteed game 4, I guess, Racers TBD, most likely. But we are going to at least get a longer series between these two teams.
And that puts into consideration the game 4, in which WJPDTB would have the choice of what mode they're going to play for that fourth game of the series. As JP doing the spins to win here for this attempt to tie the series. Down to the bottom corner does go Ganon for the number 12 hit. And that will do it. JP has tied the series at 1 game apiece.
Yeah, get your GGs out in chat for JP taking a very solid victory here over Shady Force in casual boots, crossing the finish line. GGs on today's winner, which is JP. Alright, meanwhile, Shady, though, has just dropped out to Mothula, hopefully, you know, with his energy expertise with Tempered Sword. Oh my gosh, that was fast. Mothula got demolished from that. But it looks like, though, Shady is aware that JP has finished. Most likely
at least he goes out on a bang with that Mothula kill.
Oh yeah. Alright, get your GGs out in chat for Shady as well. He ran a very excellent game, but you know what? This is a pretty high stakes case. A race, you know, sometimes oversights just happen. And it was just unfortunate for Shady that, you know, the bow was basically in Waterfall Ferry.
As we welcome in Brewers fan JP to the conversation, GGs to you.
Thank you.
All right, so you wound up doing the hookshot cave, and you got nothing out of it. Where exactly did you feel you were in the race after you pulled the bow out of the Waterfall Ferry, a spot that you could have had earlier on in the seed?
Didn't feel great about it, but at the same time, I still had a bunch of overworld I hadn't checked at that point. The hookshot cave check was because I wasn't sure if Shady could hover, and I was like, if Shady could hover, I didn't want to take that risk. But I could also loop in Spike Cave at the same time, so it wasn't a terrible idea. But yeah, I didn't feel the best, but I didn't feel the worst because I still had a bunch of overworld, so I knew I was doing okay. I think worse was that lamp after I got after Helma.
Yeah, had a little bit of a difficulty there with the beetle room, but you were able to get through it without losing too much damage. We welcome in Shady Force into the conversation as well, and we say GG to you.
Yeah, GG Shady, and GG JP.
Yep, GG.
I do want to turn to Shady Force real fast. That Mothula kill, my goodness.
Someone's been practicing NMG. Maybe. If you are saying something, Shady, I'm not sure if we can hear you in this case.
So, trying to think about, is there anything that you would have done differently about this seed if you had the chance, JP?
I might have dipped Swamp before Mire. As I was going to Mire, I realized, wait, I don't have a fire source to do left side. This is kind of a mistake. I got one item at least, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hope the other item doesn't burn me.
At what point in that run were you starting to get worried that that second item could have burned you?
I don't know if I ever got too worried about it, because like I said, I still had a bunch of overworlds left, so I didn't worry a lot. I still, like, at the end of the seed, like, I didn't clear a ton of this, so I had spots left. So I never really felt terrible. Like, I guess when I hit go mode, I was like, I don't know, you know, maybe I'm okay, maybe I'm not. It was like iffy.
Yeah, did you end up, I guess, regretting your decision to go back into left side for 2 items? Because that was, because you did get half magic out of it, but it wasn't, you know, progression.
No, I don't think so. I think that was the right call in that place. Like, I mean, maybe I don't do that if I had full cleared Mire, but I think in that spot it was fine. Like I said, half magic's a good find anyway. So
Let's try this again, Shady Force.
Oh no, Shady. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, Shady, it did actually look like
hello.
you... Oh,
We get
hey,
a Shady Force.
I'm an idiot. I forgot I turned on push to talk last day when I was doing commentary. Hello.
Hello, welcome. It's good to hear
I'm
you.
smart.
Hi, GG's.
GG's, JP.
GG.
So talk about that Mothula. What a wonderful kill that was.
Yeah, sometimes you need to get a bit lucky, really. I got the double hit, and then obviously the nice movement to let me kill him. It was only a 9 out of 10. One of the spikes moved. Wasn't a perfect moth fight.
Yes, I know. We weren't going to critique you about that. I mean, if you wanted us to critique you about your fights, then we could talk about that cold stare that got rather Monka-esque.
I don't think it was ever that scary. It wasn't the fastest fight ever, but it was okay.
You survived. That's all that matters.
Talking about Shady's Mothula, mine was terrible. I mean, if he's rating his 9, I'm rating mine a 2. My moth did not want to get away from the spikes.
Yeah, your problem is that you didn't really get him away from the spikes. Like what I was saying in commentary, there was that maybe trying to blast him with a fire rod shot to try to get him away from the spikes may have been the idea there, but he just didn't want to get away from there, which meant all of your swings at it was negated by the spike damage.
Yeah, that was frustrating. Some of my end game was a bit frustrating. Like that moth fight, I got 2 was frustrating. I didn't get my 1-1 on Ganon. So I was definitely feeling bad about some stuff at the end of that seed.
Were you starting to feel nervous towards that back part of the run, JP?
Definitely. You know, I knew... Like I said, I felt alright because I didn't last location it, but at the same time it didn't feel great because it wasn't like there was anything super far off the path. Most of the stuff was just right in your way, so it didn't feel great, but I also didn't feel bad because I don't know if my collection rate's shown on screen yet, but my collection rate is pretty low. So
it's 134, which is pretty solid for what we've dealt with for this seed.
Yeah, so I felt all right. Like I definitely was nervous, but not like super nervous. I didn't think I'd lost or anything. I felt like it could go either way.
Yeah, you end up skipping, of course, a lot of the overworld, right? And I guess I was curious, like, before you wanted to do Pyramid Fairy, did any of that overworld, like, did you ever consider to do more overworld before doing Pyramid Fairy?
My plan was basically, if Pyramid Fairy didn't have anything, I was going to start doing overworld. Like, I was going to go up and do King's Tomb, Graveyard, go check Bumper Ledge, go through Skull Woods, do Smith Chain, and then go back to Agina that I had forgotten.
Yeah, actually, that was actually one kind of like major difference, right? So Shady ended up finding, I don't know if he mentioned this earlier, but he ended up finding Bombos from King's Tomb. So he had early access into Ice Palace. So that was something that Shady had an option to do, whereas I guess you never ended up going there, right? So no Bombos for you.
Yeah, I go moded that. I checked one chest just in case there was a small key. That was it.
The Rule of Fire just kind of never came together for this seed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really let me down here. If Fire Rod was just sitting in there, I would have been super happy.
So I do want to talk real fast about the contrast between this seed and the last seed. With the Go mode being the Fire Rod this time around, as opposed to in the last game where it was the Ice Rod.
It's
What
always
ice
nice
rod?
when it's not Ice Rod for Go mode. Like, even with Turtle Rock being a pen, it's like you get that Ice Rod, and it's like, okay, at least if I get something that's gonna make this a stupid Go mode, it's not gonna be like completely illogical to find.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it does make it doubly bad when you like end up last locating anything. You know you're going to lose this seed because there's a cap of how long it's going to take. 1 minute 25, I think, is the worst you could reasonably expect to the winning time to be on this type of seed. So that's the downside.
So I do want to turn. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Finish that thought.
Oh, carry on, Rick. I was finished.
All right, well, I just want to real quickly. I'm going to turn over to JP first. Anything that you want to say to In the Name of DT as he's getting ready to face off against Zelga Disan in the second second race of your back-to-back, pretty much, with the cross keys coming up at 3 o'clock.
I'm saying anything to DT, just do your best, and whatever happens, we'll go with. Like, I'm super glad I got this win here, so there's no pressure on you. It's whatever happens. Play your best, and we'll go from there.
And I'm going to turn to Shady Force. Anything you want to say to Zelga before his race coming up at the top of the hour?
Yeah, the only thing I want to say to Zelga is, I hope he wasn't watching this.
Just ignore all of the Zelga Dasan things that he.
I can purge it from chat if you'd like me to.
But nah, Zelga's quite a strong class speed player. DT's execution is excellent. It should be a really good race coming up. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's going to begin in 30 minutes over on ALTTPR League. Be sure to follow that channel for that match coming up here. GG's to both of you, and perhaps now it's time for you two teams to start talking about that game 4 that, JP, you've now clinched the teams need to play with this win.
Yeah, we have to discuss that still, but I think, like I said, we're going to wait and see what happens with DT today, and then we'll go from there.
Certainly, best of luck to both your teams moving forward. You guys are obviously very strong. I think Rick has mentioned several times that, of course, this is, especially at this stage in the tournament, for league and playoffs, right? Everyone is super famous. Very veterans, of course, of execution within the community. So, this series was actually very exciting to be able to watch.
Everyone is super famous to the point that that's the limo for JP or Shady Force I was just talking in the background. But seriously, GG's to both of you, and solid run for both of you. You both got to show off good parts of execution, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to your two teams coming up here next. As we've already mentioned, that next race coming up here real soon. That's going to do it for this race, though. So I'm going to go ahead and say my goodbye, and then I'll let Clearmouse and let her say her goodbye pieces as well. Let her have the final word. So be sure to follow these two runners, Brewers Fan, JP, and Shady Force Games. Great job for both of you. All right, that's going to do it for this match. Be sure to go to ALTTPRLeague.com for more information about the current standings, as well as more information about the tournament as a whole. And I'm Adirondack Rick saying have yourself a great afternoon.
Yeah, just echoing everything that you had said, Rick. This has been actually a really amazing series and games to watch. Thank you so much, Shady and JP, for putting on such an awesome race for us. And of course, thank you to SpeedGaming, and of course the lead channels for being able to allow us to restream this. Keep your eye, of course, on the schedule for Game 4 and potentially a Game 5, depending on what happens in this next race and series. It actually should be really exciting. And yeah, until then, basically, yes, go watch Zelga versus DT in about half an hour. It's going to be really exciting on the league channel. So until then, have a great day.